A few minutes ago, representatives of the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation made another official statement regarding the situation on the battlefield in the Kursk and Vuhledar directions of the front. So, according to them, the Russian units of the group of troops under the designation Sever completely stopped the advancing units of the Ukrainian Army in the Glushkovsky district of the Kursk region. It is reported that over the past 48 hours, Ukrainian troops have not made any attempt to attack Russian positions in this sector of the front. Moreover, the Russian military department also officially confirmed that as of September 30, 2024, Russian troops had completely dislodged the Ukrainian army units from the Medvezhia area and completely cleared the vicinity of this settlement. In addition, the Russian army also dislodged Ukrainian forces from their positions south of the village of Veseloy. Thus, as of September 30, 2024, in the Glushkovsky district of the Kursk region, only the settlement of Novyi Put remains under the control of the armed forces of Ukraine. As for the Koronevsky district of the Kursk region, there have been no significant changes in the last 48 hours. It is reported that the main fighting continues in Lubimovka and Algovka areas. Meanwhile, representatives of the Russian Defense Ministry officially confirmed that the garrison of the Ukrainian army located in Vuhledar is almost completely surrounded. It is reported that the Kamchatka Marines surrounded Vuhledar, leaving the Ukrainian nationalists only one narrow, broken dirt road, which is under fire by Russian troops from two sides. War correspondents have already called it the Road of Death. According to them, the Russian army uses the same tactics in Vuhledar as in Avdiivka and Bakhmut. In particular, watching the fighting in Vuhledar, it is clearly visible that the Russian army is leaving the enemy the last foothold for defense, and, in addition, Russian troops continue to deliver massive strikes not only on enemy positions, but also on the only escape route. As a result, over the last 48 hours alone, the remaining units of the Ukrainian army lost almost all their heavy equipment in Vuhledar. Now, Ukrainian soldiers can leave the city only on foot, which significantly increases the losses of the Ukrainian army in manpower. Commenting on the situation in Vuhledar, the official representative of the nationalist Adar Battalion, Yevgeny Daiky, confirmed the death of all personnel of the 58th Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. According to him, this brigade defended the flanks of Vuhledar and was completely destroyed by Russian-guided aerial bombs of the Fab family. According to him, the remaining units of the Ukrainian army continue to suffer heavy losses in manpower. At the same time, he admits that many Ukrainian soldiers are trying to escape from the city towards the settlement of Bogoyevlenka. This Ukrainian nationalist noted that at the moment, the Russian army is building up forces on the flanks and outskirts of Vuhledar for a decisive assault on this city. Gritting his teeth and with tears in his eyes, he admitted that Vuhledar would most likely come under the control of Russian troops in the first days of October. Against this backdrop, on the official website of the 79th Airborne Assault Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Ukrainian officers published an angry article where they directly accused the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, General Alexander Syrsky, and the head of the Kiev regime, Vladimir Zelensky, of indifference to the lives of Ukrainian soldiers. According to them, Alexander Syrsky and Vladimir Zelensky sacrificed the 58th and 72nd Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, so that Vuhledar would not come under the control of the Russian army while this comedian was in the United States. Moreover, commenting on the terrible situation of the Ukrainian army on the battlefield, the deputy of the Verkhovna Rada Mariana Bezeglaya bluntly stated that the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine, General Syrsky, is a Kremlin agent. According to her, all the actions of this general are playing into the hands of the Russian troops. Mariana Bezzaglia noted that General Sersky continues to carry out senseless rotations of troops, causing enormous damage to the Ukrainian army. General Sersky constantly removes the most experienced Ukrainian army brigades from critical areas, replacing them with ordinary units consisting of inexperienced soldiers, who are even unfamiliar with the geography of the area. As a result, Ukrainian soldiers begin to retreat, surrendering vast territories to the enemy. It seems that the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine is doing everything to ensure that the Ukrainian army does not have the opportunity to maintain a permanent line of defense. I'm sure General Sersky is doing this on purpose. He is playing into the hands of the enemy, Mariana Bezzaglia said. Meanwhile, on September 29, at 8 a.m. Moscow time, the Russian armed forces launched a fairly effective bomb and rocket attack on military facilities in Donetsk and Zaporizhia regions. This bomb and rocket attack is notable for the fact that it caused devastating damage not only to the Ukrainian army, but also to NATO forces. So, on the morning of September 29, a Russian reconnaissance drone recorded the arrival of a fairly large group of Ukrainian soldiers in the village of Yasenovoy, Donetsk region. As it turned out, this group of Ukrainian soldiers was heading from Zaporizhia to the Pokrovsk direction of the front. It is reported that this group of Ukrainian soldiers stopped near a local store, in the northeastern part of the settlement of Yasenovoy, to replenish food and rest. And it was at this moment that a devastating blow was dealt to them with the help of the Iskander-M ballistic missile. This video clearly shows the aftermath of this missile strike. It is reported that as a result of this missile attack, 50 Ukrainian soldiers and 10 pieces of heavy equipment were destroyed. In the Zaporizhia region, on the same day, Russian guided bombs of the Fab family hit the Zaporizhia 1 railway station, in the northwestern part of the city of Zaporizhia. It is reported that the strike was carried out at the very moment when a NATO military train full of NATO weapons and foreign mercenaries arrived at that railway station. However, the bombing of Zaporizhia did not end there. As it turned out, Russian-guided aerial bombs of the Fab family also hit and destroyed the building of the Security Service of Ukraine, in the southwestern part of the city of Zaporizhia. According to the coordinator of the Russian underground in Ukraine, Sergei Lebedev, officers from NATO countries were in this building at the time of the strike. Sergei Lebedev stressed that as a result of this strike, the building of the Security Service of Ukraine was completely destroyed. Referring to the statements of Ukrainian doctors, he said that 15 bodies of NATO officers had been recovered from the rubble. As it turned out, Russian intelligence was aware of the arrival of NATO officers in Zaporizhia. It is reported that a Russian reconnaissance drone monitored these officers throughout the day, and transmitted the exact coordinates to the Russian military as soon as they entered the building of the Security Service of Ukraine. Undoubtedly, the loss of such a large number of active duty officers caused significant damage to the North Atlantic Alliance.